Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on 790 The Bet. Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency and Wally Hatchett's Comfort Food and Drinks at 6439 Summer Avenue.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on this October the 22nd. Thank Marty Marbury for filling us in on all the things that are going on in West Tennessee, tourism-wise, and you can go to tnvacation.com, find out more information about that. But we always like to talk topical on here, particularly when we have somebody that actually knows a lot about a subject, and we're privileged to have not only he knows a lot about the subject, but he's part of our team, and that's our good friend Bill Cooksey, which I'm having trouble saying Parsons, Tennessee, but that's where
Me too.
Yeah, you too. It's just like I have trouble remembering. I have a new website name. It's LarryRay.com, and as Ron almost got tripped over it too, it is still LarryRay.com, and we have lots of information. But there's a subject going on that Bill, I need to let Bill explain because he sent out an email to a lot of us, and I have. I've not hunted in that area, but I have fished many times.
I have too.
For redfish and speckled trout down in that area of Battatari, in the lower Louisiana Gulf, the marshlands out there, just fascinating. But there is a habitat project in coastal Louisiana which will create 50,000 acres of critical coastal land and marsh. And Bill, give us the details on this.
Yeah, Larry, it's interesting. And one thing I'll add to what you said before the break, not only going down there to fish and hunt, but the waterfowl and many other birds that come through here.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of them, that's some crucial wintering grounds for the birds that we all hunt in this area.
Yes,
so,
yes.
Louisiana continues to lose a football field of land every 100 minutes. Y'all have heard me say that on the show.
Yes.
And now on the plus side, the old Mark Twain saying of buy land because they ain't making any more in Louisiana isn't true, because
right.
There's a lot of places in Louisiana where land is growing right now.
Yes.
It's just not enough to offset the losses. And what you're talking about it will be the biggest habitat project ever in Louisiana and probably in the world. That
really
is a little contentious because it's like anything else. How do you measure? But it's the Mid-Barataria sediment diversion. It will be south of New Orleans,
yes,
near Myrtle Grove, and on the west side of the river. And a sediment diversion, for people that don't understand or haven't, really paid attention in the past.
Tell us.
All this land was formed by sediment. All these marshes were formed by sediment from the Mississippi River. Every year as it flooded, it would dump sediment, then it'd go back in its banks and flood, dump sediment. Well, we cut that off with the levees and many other things that have happened to degrade those marshlands, and they've been going away, and that's the reason that hurricane impacts seem to get worse and worse.
Yes.
Because there's not as much to absorb them, and we're also now seeing declines in speckled trout.
Man, I hate that.
Fewer acres for ducks.
Yes.
Louisiana's lost a lot of their ability to host ducks. So as sportsmen, that's big to us.
Yes.
But then for the people who live there, I mean, there are towns that are gone now. And Mid-Barataria, what it will do is replicate in a more controlled manner than the old flood, cut the levees and flood it. It will replicate the river coming up and dropping that sediment. So it's placed in a perfect position where sediment loads are high, and it will send that out into the marsh. And over the course of time, even with sea level change and all that, you're looking at up to about 50,000 acres of new marshland that eventually, that will eventually be there.
Yes.
It's been studied for over 40 years.
40 years. I heard you say that. Yeah, 40 years.
Yeah.
I mean,
the science is there.
The Delta is collapsing, you said. The Delta is collapsing, which...
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's dying, and if we don't aggressively keep pushing these new projects and doing all we can to. And this isn't the only one. This is just one project, but it's a big one.
It's a big one. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Some people want to just dredge. Well, you can't dredge your way out of this. Dredging is an important tool, but eventually, if you don't reconnect the river to these marshes, they go away.
Yes.
And it becomes an open lake. And as you know, you can go down there with a guide who updates his Navionics chips all the time, and you can be sitting there in 4 feet of water fishing for speckled trout and look over on his navigation, and it shows you're on land, and he updated it a month ago.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it's happening down there. So this will create more and more marshland, and that in turn is good for our fisheries, it's good for our waterfowl, and it's good for people. Now, it's not all sunshine and roses like anything else. It will have some impacts on some commercial fishing, that sort of thing, but that's also something the state is mitigating. So in the state of Louisiana,
Sportsman's
overall,
paradise.
Sportsman's
paradise is
about 79% of the residents of Louisiana support sediment diversions and these projects.
Yeah.
And even in the areas where it's the most contentious, which is where it's occurring, and understandably so, because it's going to hit these people directly.
Yeah.
Over 70% of people currently in those areas, and we're talking Plaquemines Parish, St. Bernard Parish, they are supportive of it. They know if it doesn't happen, eventually
it's gone.
They don't get to live there anymore.
That's right. It's gone. I mean,
but as in most cases, and we're all this way, it's human nature, those people who are oppose it really loud.
Yeah. Well, that's their prerogative. I mean,
it is.
Yeah.
Hey, we all do the same thing. That's why I said it is absolutely a human nature thing. When something makes me mad, I'm going to be much quicker to let everybody know about it.
I think you bring up a good point on this, Bill. And some of them say, well, they talking about that Louisiana stuff, because I guarantee you there is a lot of people in our area that spend some big bucks every year going to that section of Louisiana. I mean, whether they're fishing or hunting or just bird watching or whatever it might be, we make an impact on them. And so if there's nothing down there for us to go to, what does that mean? We're
exactly right.
And then if it takes away the habitat, which is what we're in the business of, and I know you are with Vanishing Paradise, if there's no habitat, there's no birds and things along that line. So,
right.
I mean, we can blame it on the weather and the systems, and it's frozen up north or whatever it might be. But an area that you're talking about is so important to the Central and the Mississippi Flyway, right, Bill? I mean,
absolutely. I mean, that is the wintering grounds, the final wintering grounds for a huge number of our ducks and geese.
Yes. Yeah.
And most people don't realize it, but we trade birds back and forth with them all season long. South winds bring them back to us, and then it goes back to them, and that's our best hunting.
Yes.
So the healthier they are, the better our hunting will be here. And obviously, if you love to fish for speckled trout and redfish and even largemouth bass.
Yeah, lots of that. Yeah.
But so what are we doing here? What are you?
Well,
you're
the reason we're talking about it right now, and now we're in a real time crunch because this came out and there's about 50,000 pages to review. But there's a final environmental impact statement which came out, and we're in a comment period.
Oh,
we only have a couple more days.
Okay.
To comment.
Okay.
So you can go online, and probably the easiest way to find it would be through our NWF Outdoors Facebook page. They have a post about it with links and everything.
Okay.
And you can go on. It takes about 3 minutes. You literally click a button, tell them who you are, and tell them either way if you are for or against. But hopefully most of our sportsmen are going to be for it. Say, hey, this is important to me as a Tennessee sportsman, Mississippi sportsman, or from wherever you're from. Because it's a national problem.
And
like most of our wildlife resources issues, it's really national in nature.
And folks, you got till October the 24th. I mean, this is the 22nd. So as Bill said, you got till Monday.
Right.
I mean, to make your comments, your final comments to the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, the New Orleans district there in New Orleans, and so go on there. Vanishing Paradise is part of the National Wildlife Federation, for which Bill works for. So give them that website again, Bill, that they can go to.
Well, the place to go would be the NWF Outdoors Facebook page.
There you go. Okay.
That's where it's posted.
All right.
It's kind of tricky. You don't want to go blasting too much online about this, or it just isn't.
No, you just need to submit this to them. Yeah, you have a click here. You have a place to click and join in and put your comments there. And
exactly. And anyone who wants is welcome to email me, and I will send them a link. And my email is cookseyb, COOKSEYB, @nwf.org.
Okay, Bill. I appreciate you taking time. And when you sent me the information this week, I said, well, I got a segment here. And I said, Bill, let's just talk about this, because I think that's part of our –
it impacts all of us.
It's a part of our job here at Outdoors with Larry Ray to not only entertain but be informed. And this is one of those things. We got some comment period going on right now, TWRA, about fishing, the regulations.
That's right.
So let's, unless people step up and not just mouth but comment in this thing, it makes a great deal. So I appreciate it, Bill, for you.
Believe it or not, our comments matter to the TWRA. It's not that they always do what you wanted them to do,
but they read them.
Counting them.
They do read.
Whether it's the state agency or your elected officials,
yes,
they're being read and counted.
Yeah, all you got to do is read them sometime, and you'll know that for a fact. So, all right, all right. Let's take a break.
Good information, Bill.
We're going to take a break,
Thanks,
and
we're
going to talk about something here that's pretty amazing: wood duck banding, and you're going to find out that. Right here in West Tennessee, we got a record breaker that happened this year, and I think you're going to be pretty impressed by what we're going to talk about in the next segment of Outdoors with Larry Ray.